But I don't mean reading the scriptures mentally. Okay, I just got your attention. You cannot know the Lord mentally.
Nope.
That's the first level.
Nope.
That's why I call layers. There are layers in the Bible. The first layer is mental, historical. So I read the Bible and I read about Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and I go through the Bible and I know now all the stories. That's what people get in Sunday school. That's the first layer. In the first layer, there's no revelation at all because there's no spirit in that.
It's the letter.
It's all mental knowledge at this point. The second layer is still natural. It's still affecting my mind. What I'm finding, the plan of God for Israel is still historical. God chooses Abraham, and Abraham has Ishmael, and then he's got Isaac, and then Jacob comes along with Esau, and the sons of Jacob, and Leah and Rachel, and then Joseph, blah, 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 all that. And it gives me a lot of good information that's affecting me mentally, not spiritually. Are you still listening? Yes. There's no Jesus revealed yet. Third layer. I begin to look at the Bible. Now I know all about Adam and Eve and the fall of man and Cain and Abel and on and on. I know all about God's plan for the Jewish people and how they came out of Egypt and rebelled in the wilderness and so on. But now the third layer is I start looking for more. And the more is Jesus. When I begin to find Jesus in the Old Testament, like the New Testament church had to find him, because there was no Matthew, Mark, Luke, John in the early church. Nobody read the New Testament. In the early church, for over 100 years, nobody had Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. So now there's some questions on when were the Gospels written, but I can assure you, for at least the first 50 to 70 years, nobody even knew there was a book called Matthew. So how did they find the Lord? Well, they found him by reading Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and all the books of Scripture. And they had to find him in the types and shadows. When you find Jesus, an explosion happens spiritually. Well, now he begins to reveal himself to you through every type. Example, Joseph. Well, Joseph is a revelation of the Lord. And when you see that, it begins to affect you spiritually. So Joseph, loved by his father, just like Jesus. Hated by his brothers, just like Jesus. Placed in a pit, that's the death of Jesus. Placed in a prison, that's when Jesus went to the underworld. Came out of prison, that's the Lord's resurrection. Then, given authority to sit at Pharaoh's right hand, that's the ascension of Jesus. And sat at the right hand of the Father. Then he's given a Gentile life, that's the church. So now you see Jesus rather than Joseph. Are you listening? Amen. You see so many other things in the Bible, very powerful things. Like Noah in Genesis chapter 8, the ark landing on the mountains of Ararat, 7th month, 17th day. God even giving us the date of the resurrection of his son by showing us the ark resting on the mountains of Ararat on the exact day Jesus rose from the dead. Now you start to see more in the Bible. You look at the Ark of the Covenant, all Jesus. You look at the Feast of Israel, all Jesus. You look at the tabernacle, every part was Jesus. And the Lord starts to reveal himself through what I call types and shadows, and very clear scriptures in the Old Covenant. That's the third layer. But there's a fourth layer that brings the Lord out. Incredible, in fact. And these are the names of individuals. Oh, I don't know if you can handle this one. Can you handle this one?
Amen.
If you can, lift your hands, say, Father, please help me now. Say, help me, Lord. Did you mean that?
Yes.
Hope so. Most Christians never bother looking at the meaning of names, individuals' names in the Bible, because those names reveal the Lord. All right. The first, write them down, write them down. The first 10 names in the Bible reveal the plan of God for your salvation.
Exactly.
The first name in the Bible is Adam. Adam, it's all found in Genesis 5, by the way. Why don't you turn to Genesis chapter 5? I'll show it to you. I will show you right now the gospel in Genesis chapter 5. Are you ready for it? Yes. Are you really?
Yes.
Yeah, you asked for it. Now, I have one of those minds that looks for this stuff. I'm so hungry to know the Lord, you know.
That's right.
And in Genesis 5, these are undeniable proofs that the Bible was not written by a man. Wake up! You gotta really get this now. Verse 2, the Bible says God called them Adam. Called them. He didn't call him, he called them. You know, God called both man and woman Adam. He didn't call them Adam and Eve.
Exactly.
Adam gave her the name. Eve. God called them Adam. So the name of women was first Adam. God never called you Eve. Eve was the name after the sin came.
Exactly.
The son of Adam. Adam means man. The second name in the Bible is verse 3, last portion. He called his name Seth. The word Seth in the Bible, if you look it up, it means appointed. Appointed. Now watch this when you put it together, it'll blow your head off. The third name is verse 6. And Seth lived 105 years, begat who? Enos. What does Enos mean? Mortal. M-O-R-T-A-L. Look it up in the Strongs, it's all there. Then, verse 9. Enos lived 90 years, begat who? Canaan. Canaan means sorrow. Are you awake?
Yes.
Good. Canaan means what? Sorrow. Then, verse 12, and Canaan lived 70 years and begat who? Mahalalel. Mahalalel means blessed God. I was amazed. Yesterday, in fact, I was looking at that name in the Strong's Bible, because the Strong's Bible, one name may have more than one meaning. You know what I found, Timothy? Mahalalel not only means blessed God, it also means one like God. One like God. Wait till you put the whole thing together. Mahalalel means blessed God or one like God. And then verse 15, Mahalalel lived 65 years and begat Yared. Well, Yared is the Hebrew word for come down, descend. Trust me, I know that word. Yared means get down here. Shall come down is the exact translation. Then verse 18. Yared lived 162 years and begat Enoch. Enoch means to teach or declare, is another word. Declare, teach. And then verse 21, Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. You all know about Methuselah, right, from Sunday school. Methuselah is a very powerful description. That's awesome. His death will bring, is what it means. Methuselah means his death will bring. And then, verse 25, Methuselah lived 187 years and had a son. He begat Lamech. You know what Lamech means in Hebrew? To despair, despairing. I hope you're writing all this down. Are you?
Yes.
And finally, verse 29, he had another son. Well, let's read 28 and 29. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son, and he called his name Noah. Noah means rest, resta. So here is something powerful. Are you there listening?
Yes.
If you put this together, you come up with this. Man was appointed
You see it?
mortal sorrow, but the blessed God will come down teaching that his death will bring the despairing rest.
You see it?
Now wait, stop. Look at me. Man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down, teaching that his death will bring the despairing rest. That's the gospel.
Amen.
How many saw that? Put your hands up. How can you deny that God wrote that?
Amen.
Here you have the gospel revealed in names in one chapter of Genesis. Just how did you find that? Women how did you find that? Don't you have an iPad? Things have become really easy now.
Google.
You just download the Strong's Bible and you can touch the words and they'll give you those meanings in seconds.
Amen.
You don't even have to go look them up anymore. These are all there. Bang, dun, 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 right there. Easy stuff. You can download the Strong's Bible for a few dollars. Dear God, it's cheaper than ice cream. Download that app called the Strong's, King James. I have it on my iPad, I have it on my phone. You touch those words and you get the meaning of the words. Really? You don't have to go look through any of those massive books anymore. I have so many Bibles on my iPad. I have all the translations. I have all the commentaries of the Bible on my iPad and my phone. I sit on the plane and I read the Bible. I don't like to watch those stupid movies on the plane. They're all demonic anyways. Put my earphones on and I'm gone. First thing I do when I get on a plane, I take my iPad out, stick my earphones on. I don't want to hear a thing. I know more about that plane and seatbelt on and all this than the flight attendants themselves. I've heard that thing a billion times. I don't want to have to hear it one more time. I stick my earphones on, I put the noise deal on so I don't hear nobody, and I'm in, I'm gone. I put my worship on, I read the Bible, or I'll watch something till they take off and then I'll do whatever. Dear God, I have such incredible time with my iPad. I touched all the different commentaries and Bibles, and I'm learning out there while all those idiots are falling asleep. Kenneth Copeland calls them demons. I'll be nicer than that. But the thing is, there's so much today that's available to us. You can know more about Jesus in one flight or in a car on the highway, but make sure you're not driving. Have someone else drive while you're doing that. So now, when you get to those depths, God starts to reveal himself. But there's a deeper depth than that. Can you handle this one?
Let's do it.
Really?
Yes.
That's what it is. This, most Christians can't handle this. And that is the code. Jesus revealed in the Bible code. It's incredible. You know that every 50th letter in Genesis spells Torah? Every 50th letter spells law. You know that the name for Reuben, if you take the first letters of the name, they spell Yeshua. You see Jesus everywhere in the Old Testament. And you look for it. You say, well, why do you do that? Well, why do I do that? Because God is revealing his Son to me in incredible ways. Deep ways. Like real deep ways. And there's revelations that come of the Lord through that. When the Lord said, let there be light, when God said, let there be light, even rabbis agree that what God said is, let Messiah come forth. He is the light. And then you go and you study what John says about the light. It blows your head off. It's endless revelations. Endless. But when there is no Jesus, and people are looking for other things in the Bible, like many of the religious Jews, because they don't know the Lord, they're looking for things that don't have anything to do with God. It becomes mysticism. Or actually demonic stuff. Because there's no Lord there. They're not looking for the Lord anymore. How many understood what I just said? Put your hands up high. Because without Jesus, there's danger. But all the revelations of the scriptures, there are 7, by the way. 7 layers in the Bible. Can you believe that? It's incredible. Most of us, most Christians aren't even done with the first layer. You know what is really so sad? Is when a lot of people are going to make heaven find out how much they missed down here. They're in shock to see what they missed down here. Now, these amazing revelations and manifestations of the Lord's presence in your life are really results of worship, results of the scriptures, like I just said to you. And there's a lot I missed because I don't think somebody can really handle any deeper layer that I want to go into. And that I myself don't know a whole lot about myself. Hey, I'm only in the 4th layer and I'm being blown away. I'm finding stuff I never thought it was in the Bible. All the names of the sons of Jacob is the story of the Lord. It's really quite amazing. And so much more. So I don't want to mess you up. Because I think I will if I go there. But besides the scriptures that reveal the Lord with such power, oh, dear God, it's so awesome. You will not know what I mean till you're there. Because when you're there, your love erupts. The manifestation of His presence becomes thicker than anything you can imagine. It's like swimming in jello. No longer water, it's thick jello now you're there. It goes from oil to real thick oil, unfiltered oil, and then jello. It's beyond description. His presence literally, if I can say, it's like a weight that hits you. On your physical body you start to feel it. And in those depths, I don't know if I should say this, but I will. In those depths, God begins to pump Himself out of the Spirit into your soul. Where literally He starts to flood other areas because it becomes so overwhelmingly rich in them. Did you get what I said?
Yes, sir.
And He starts to flow out. And that's what Jesus said. Out of your innermost being will come, flow out. And just rivers, not one, not two, many rivers of life begin to flow out. To the place it starts to affect your body with health.
That's right.
Because it says, health to all my flesh. That's from the scriptures alone. A lot of Christians aren't even there yet. But there's a third amazing door, I call it, that brings manifestations and revelation, and that's communion with Him. Communion on a level unknown in the realms of prayer. The realms of prayer, the asking realm, as I call it, is outer court realms. And the seeking realm is still basically outer court realm. But the knocking, that's spiritual. That's
He did
higher
not go
realm.
there. Wow.
Did you hear what I said, right? What did Jesus say? He said, ask, seek, knock, right? Well, you cannot ask if you're in the spirit. Ask is in the flesh. And even seek is soulish, because I seek Him with my soul. But when I fellowship, it's spiritual. I fellowship in the spirit. That is not a natural realm anymore. That's spiritual. And there is a dynamic reality that begins where the psalmist talks about in the Psalms, where he says, deep calls unto deep. Now it's spirit to spirit. And suddenly the deep calling unto deep creates spiritual tsunamis or spiritual tornadoes. Literally. And the Bible calls billows, your waves, your tsunamis are now overwhelming me. And God literally starts to lift you in a Holy Ghost spiritual tornado. That the Word of God describes in the Psalms. You see those shifts of wind, tornadoes in the water begin to suck literally that water out of the oceans. That happens in the spirit's realm. When spirit communes with spirit, it's no longer words. Words are inadequate in that realm. You can't even talk to God there. It's spirit to spirit that comes together in your spirit man. A volcano of communion begins. That love beyond description, that is indescribable in words. And words there don't work. Words become inadequate, and quietness becomes the language of the Spirit, and the language of heaven is silence. I don't know if you understood what I said. Silence becomes the language in the realm. Silence so great, it brings God on the scene with power in the spiritual realm. How many understood that? Put your hands up. I hope you have. It's so powerful. Oh, brother. No, I don't know that you can handle this one.
Come on, come on.
When you get that deep, you will come out of your body.
That's man. I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later.
The body can't handle that realm. So there's a separation.
Jesus.
Don't you remember what John said on the Lord's Day? He was out of the body, and Paul didn't know if he was in or out. Because it's a disconnect. You asked for it. You told me to tell you.
You go.
I want to scare you. I don't want to mess you up. How many want to have that happen? Put your hand up.
I'm having it happen.
Look, in that realm,
Yeah,
the
that's
angelic
it.
is very active. In that spiritual realm, when there is that spirit to spirit connection, and the body becomes disconnected from that realm, people begin to have incredible experiences with angels. Literally, that's when you hear angels singing.
Oh my God.
You come into a realm of worship that is impossible to attain in the flesh. Oh dear.
Come on.
No. You need to hear this because I think it's really coming. When people, I've had it happen to me. You move into a realm where your body kind of is out, totally out, and you walk into a different realm, and angels appear, and you start to hear the most amazing high soprano music that you join into. And you totally disconnect.
God.
It's so real, it's scary. Lift your hands, ask God to give it to you. You need it. It brings you into new realms. Realms where the Lord is more real than reality itself. It happened to me in a service
Thank you, Lord.
in Colombia, South America. When the Lord spoke to me one night, He said, tell the people to be quiet. I was preaching at a massive church in Bogota, and 100 and something thousand people were in prayer a week before I got there for a revival. And during the service, the Lord said, tell them to be quiet. He said, I'm going to walk into this room in exactly 1 hour. This was at 7:50. I told the people the Lord's going to walk in here. And nobody now from there on even heard what I had to say. For a whole hour, they were all looking at their watches. When suddenly, exactly at 8:50, the building began to shake, physically shake, like an earthquake.
Jesus.
And a rumble hit, and people were really scared. And this massive wind came in like a tornado in the building. And people began falling sideways.
Yeah.
No one fell straight or back. They all fell sideways, just like you see if a tornado hits some farm, all the wheat goes that way, you know? They get hit like that. Everybody was on the floor except me. I held on to the pulpit. I was so scared. I felt something, a really strong force go right by me, and I held on. But everyone was on the floor, and just people were moaning and screaming. And then the Lord said, you tell them to be quiet, because they're going to hear angels. And we were all lifted to such a plateau. Everybody in that building began to hear angels worship. And then the Lord said, you tell Betty on the organ to play the same melody she's hearing. And when she hit those keys, the place went crazy because people realized what I was hearing, everybody else is hearing. And we were lifted to such a plateau that when we walked out of the building, you could feel the difference in the atmospheres. Because inside was such a light atmosphere and outside was a heavy atmosphere. And that happened more than once in Calvary Women's meetings, where you would walk in and out and feel the difference of the atmospheres. People, the stuff that's happened to me was so incredible in the 70s. I had one experience when I had such depth, I actually came out of my body. No, that's real stuff. An angel showed up in my room. That kind of thing is about to happen on a very powerful scale at the bottom of that. And there the Lord starts to show you stuff about the future, about your life, about the world. Their prayer gets answered real fast. In fact, before you're done speaking, He's answered it. In the realm, there's no waiting period. Did you hear that? Yes. But that's what that anointing causes. Are you all listening still? Yes. How many of you want this anointing to keep working on you? It's a powerful realm. Lifted to such levels, impossible to describe. Impossible to describe. Not only where you begin to see heavenly realms and you disconnect from the flesh, literally disconnect from the flesh. Not everyone has experiences like this when you literally come out of the body. It's just hey, in my case, one time in my life, and it changed my life. And you come out of such realms, you come into such realms and come out of the realm you were in. That's when I saw the angel Michael in my bedroom. I heard his voice. That's just facts. I cannot deny them. It's real. I cannot deny it. Well, the Lord's presence is, you can't even say presence anymore. It's too weak to describe those realms. It's real substance. Well, His presence becomes tangible. Very, very super very tangible. Tangible to the place it affects your clothes. Tangible to the place you feel it like a weight on you. Tangible to the place it freezes you on the bed. You can't move. Literally, it's where your fingers, your eyebrows, your eyelashes freeze. You can't open your eyes, you can't close your eyes, you can't move your fingers anymore, you are paralyzed. It's happened to me more than once. Oh no, this is real. When His presence becomes tangible to where you cannot physically operate. How many want that to happen to you? Why don't you ask Him? Lift your hands and ask Him.
Ask the Lord.
That He'll touch you in that way.
Go experience.
Come on, Reggie, brother.
Thank you, Lord.
I need to the place your blood in your body stops flowing. It's almost like a death to the body. And He becomes more real than the body.
Wow.
In a way that's very, very, very hard to explain.
Jesus.
I mean, you're still there, but you're not. You're under an electric numbness that paralyzes your fingers from moving. And you feel it on your body. The tangible flows into the natural. Just incredible. Ask Him that He'll touch you like that.
Thank you, Jesus.
To come into visitations with angels.
Yes, God.
In your own room.
Yes, Lord.
Angels appearing to you.
Thank you, Lord.
Your body physically becoming an extension
Yes, Lord Jesus.
of power. To where when you walk into your house, demons walk out. No, that's a fact. I would walk in during those amazing years in the 70s. I would hear footsteps running out of the house. Because my mom and my dad were involved in all kinds of crazy things. My physical presence drove away the demonic out of the house. No, unbelievable stuff happened to me in the 70s. Such power would fall, Tim, that I would be in my bedroom with the lights off and light would be shining inside the room. Before God may strike me dead if I'm telling you anything false. I would
true.
have the lights off and brightness inside the room.
That's right, Lord.
How's it possible? How's it possible? There will be light, He said, in the darkness. In Catherine's meetings, we would see the same brightness over her head.